Meltzer here, Wrestling Observer Radio, August 3rd, 2025, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. We got a lot of news to get into here today. We'll get into Summerslam Night 2 in a little while, but obviously the big news coming out of the show is after Cody Rhodes beat John Cena for the title. And by the way, John Cena is a babyface. It was not a swerve.
No.
The angle Friday was they just dropped it because it sucked. So he's a babyface now. And
well, I think the deal is that they dropped it because it sucked, but also because a John Cena Brock Lesnar program, which is obviously what they're doing, does work better with Brock Lesnar as the heel.
Well, sure, but I think that they very clearly wanted him to be a babyface. I think they figured this guy probably should be a babyface in the match as opposed to turning babyface after the match, because he's way better as a babyface in terms of wrestling. And it was abundantly clear tonight because this was his best match in probably 12 years, if we're being honest. This is the best he's looked in a decade.
In a long time, in a really long time.
Yes. But we'll get back to that in a moment. So he loses to Cody. You know, they hug. Cody leaves. John Cena's in there. The fans are chanting, "Thank you, Cena." And then, as God is my witness, they hit Brock Lesnar's music. And the place, they went wild.
They went crazy.
I heard from people, like fans there, that the people just lost it. Like they're standing on their chairs, they're jumping up and down, they're screaming.
They saw a moment. That's all that matters.
Lesnar came out, took off his jacket, got in the ring, ducked a lariat, hit the F5. And so clearly, Brock Lesnar and John Cena are going to have a match. But the big story is they actually brought Brock Lesnar back. This was his first appearance since the 2023 Summerslam. He's been gone for 2 years. And obviously there was a reason he was gone 2 years.
He was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble and through wrestling. He was supposed to have gone through a WrestleMania. But when the lawsuit came out, they pulled him from everything. So what happened? The short version is that 4 weeks ago, WWE Legal cleared him. As far as why, I don't know, and that's something to speculate on because there's a lot of stuff. Obviously everything relates to the Janelle Grant lawsuit, and the legal knows either they're confident that their things go into arbitration and Lesnar's not a factor at that point, or they're close to a settlement, and then at that point Lesnar's not a factor, or somebody there just had a change of mind, and I don't know which one of those it is. I do know, everyone figured this out, but I can tell you also factually that the reason that they didn't do the press conference was because of this angle. That was going to happen because
I think there were two reasons. I think they didn't want to be asked about this angle tonight, and I don't think they wanted to be asked about Trump on Saturday. Because if he's coming back tonight, there's no reason not to have a press conference last night.
Well, it's to establish. It would look way more cowardice to do it on Saturday night, and then
I realize that that's probably
you have to do it that way.
I realize that's probably why they did it, but you're not fooling anybody as to why there was no press conference.
Well, obviously,
it doesn't matter whether you've done it Saturday night or not. Everybody knows why there's no press conferences because Lesnar came back here tonight.
Yeah, well, it's like, I think one of the things also, this is a very minor thing, but like when Levesque talked about it, it was such bullshit. Well, John wanted to work with him. Like, you got a whole roster of guys, and honestly, for John to go out, the last person who needs to rub from working with John Cena on the way out is Brock Lesnar. Like you have a whole roster of guys that you can put him in there with to elevate them.
Not only that, but John Cena can want to wrestle anybody he wants. John Cena could say, "I want to wrestle Kenny Omega." He ain't coming in.
No.
The reason Brock is coming in is they made the decision that he was going to come back. If they want to throw John Cena under the bus, like it's all his idea,
Well,
that's all fine. But I mean,
yeah. I mean, to me,
John's not making that decision. He can request it, but like they made that decision.
Of course. I mean, the thing is as soon as I saw the John thing, it's just like, oh my God, it's like the Charlotte Flair with that Reed Flair angle. It's like they don't even have the guts to go, yeah, it was our thing. It's like trying to blame it on talent, especially John, because John's very popular right now. So we can just say, oh, John's popular. No one's going to boo him right now. So it was kind of the thing. So, I mean, this is just the reality of TKO and many other companies. And it's like, I mean, like, look, if you're a star, I mean, and again, they kept him out for whatever it was since January of 2024 to August of 2025 or July was when the decision was made. But so it's they kept him out for a year and a half, obviously over the suit, obviously things in the suit. Something changed, whatever that is, I don't know. If you're looking for it like from a moral standpoint, you ain't getting it. I mean, you're not getting it from TKO. I mean, it's like Dana White didn't even get slapped on the wrist. And I mean, that was public, right? Conor McGregor just like this week lost an appeal on a sexual assault civil case, not a criminal case, civil case. They didn't wash their hands of him. They're still talking. They could have gone in there and just gone, like, dude, we're going to fire you. They never fired John Jones. I mean, they don't trust him to show up, but they never fired him. John Jones, was arrested for, attacking his.
They didn't even not only fire him, they didn't even strip him of his title.
No,
they did nothing.
Well, they did strip him of his title at one of the hit and runs, and then there was a second hit and run, and they were probably going to strip him of his title again, so he retired. But that I mean, but I mean, as far as the thing that happened with Jesse, his ex whatever girlfriend, I don't think they were ever married, but I mean, she had a bloody mouth and called police when they were in Vegas, and it was allegedly happened right in front of their kids. It's pretty bad stuff. All of this. But I mean, the worst. I mean, it's like this isn't even Brock Lesnar, Conor McGregor, John Jones. I mean, these are all superstars. Cedricus Dumas, from what I understand, is booked for another fight, and it's like he's a nobody. He's a nobody, and they
remind everybody what he did.
He broke in and attacked his ex-girlfriend, among other things. Big story. He's arrested. He was going to fight on a show, except he had an ankle bracelet, and they couldn't. He wasn't allowed to leave the state. The lawyer couldn't get the hearing. His lawyer couldn't get the hearing to allow him to leave the state, or else he would have already fought. But now he is, in fact, allowed to leave the state, and I believe he is booked on an upcoming show. I have not seen UFC announce that, but it was about a week ago. The word was getting around. It's like a nobody. They're just, that's just, I mean, it's just what the company is. This is what the company is.
Well, I've been naive in the past, but as soon as Brock came back, everybody was saying, well, next Vince is going to be back.
I wouldn't be surprised. I just got a thing from TKO like 3 days ago, about Vince's stock and everything. I mean, they want to make moments. I think that Brock shows them what the reaction will be to Vince, and it'll be a tough one to do, and I don't think he'll ever be put back in charge of creative. I mean, that I don't expect. But I mean, if the lawsuit, I mean, he's not going to be back until this lawsuit is settled, okay? And he may never be back, and he should never be back. But I don't, I mean, that's the first thing when I saw Brock. It's just like, I mean, the only one who won't be back is Laurinaitis. He won't be back. But that's because he's, I mean, first of all, he turned on Vince, so there you go. But
well, I don't want to go too deep into this because much of this is speculation. I have no facts to back any of this up, so I'll be very vague. But Vince, there was somebody that brought all of this, somebody said something, okay?
Well, the only reason
And we don't know who it was.
Okay,
right?
As far as Vince being gone, I think Vince would have had to have been gone anyway.
No, I'm saying before all this happened, somebody, there was an anonymous person that started all of this, correct?
Oh, you mean way back when?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that person clearly wanted Vince out.
I don't know what that person wanted.
Well, I mean,
I know.
If they didn't want him out, they wouldn't have called attention to this.
It was someone who told the Wall Street Journal. So it was someone with media connections.
But somebody who clearly wanted him out. They didn't think he was a good person. They thought this was terrible.
There's a couple different things. Okay, the person who made the original inquiry to the board of directors, whoever that is, probably wanted Vince out, and it's probably no one of any consequence. Okay, the person on the board of directors who talked to the Wall Street Journal is very interesting. Okay,
and we don't know who that is.
We don't know who that is.
But in theory, that person could be involved with WWE still.
It could and could not be, because half that board of directors, more than half that board of directors, in fact, almost everyone on that board of directors is on that board of directors is gone, except for I think there may be one or two. I mean, obviously Levesque is still around, Nick is still around, Stephanie's gone, but most of the people that on the old board of directors in that year, most of them are all gone. Many of some of them resigned, some were kicked out. So yeah.
I just wonder if there would be like a strong amount of pushback to the idea of bringing Vince back.
I mean, they voted unanimously not to let him back, and then everyone turned, and they had no choice. I mean, they had a choice. They could have quit, and some did, but the lifers, Nick Khan wasn't going to quit. Levesque wasn't going to quit. Stephanie quit. I mean, she never said why, but I don't think it takes like a brain surgeon to figure out the timing of everything with Stephanie when you look back on everything. I mean, the thing, so Brock is in the lawsuit essentially with the idea that Vince wanted, coerced, used Janelle Grant because Brock's contract was up, and in theory he was looking at going back to UFC, even though when we look back at the years, he wasn't going back to UFC. He was too old to go back to UFC. But could Brock have used that as leverage?
I'm sure he would use that for leverage.
Absolutely. And would they take it seriously? Probably. And at that time, like today, that wouldn't work, because it's like, okay, UFC's our company, right? Then they were different companies, and not that they were rivals, but they were. I mean, they
you could have a bidding war.
Well, you would have a bidding war.
Yeah.
So the idea was to seal the deal, Vince or Janelle to help him seal the deal, and she sent Brock videos upon request, and they had one meeting, I think, in I forgot which one it was. I think that there was one where he missed a flight and wasn't there. They had another one where he was there, but nothing happened because he drank or something. Allegedly, that's in the suit. Whether her role was to, put it this way, I don't know that her role was necessarily to be used, in a way to get Brock to sign. It could be. It could not. She claims that, okay? What I do know is I saw the text messages from Brock and Vince, and, it's pretty gross behavior, Is it something that, look, he's not a defendant in the case, but it's gross behavior. It's really ugly. I guess, and this is not defense of it, but it's like, this is a very sleazy company, okay? And they are going to do very sleazy things, and none of it should surprise you. And what will happen? Look, Slim Jim's, the only stuff that got them to do something, that would get them to do something, is sponsors. And, if you're mad and you want to call sponsors, do that. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't.
Hey, that's what got rid of Vince.
It was
Slim Jim.
Slim Jim.
Slim Jim, of all people, was what finally got rid of Vince. They pulled out and they dumped Vince as soon as Slim Jim pulled out.
Absolutely.
And then Slim Jim came back. So if Slim Jim decides they don't like Brock Lesnar, he's gone.
They'd have to do. Well, it's not just Slim Jim, but the fear is if one sponsor does it, then a whole bunch of others will fall, and that would be crippling to the company's reputation if you start having that.
Yeah. So if it starts with Slim Jim, they're probably going to get rid of him as opposed to waiting.
If it starts with anyone from Aaron Andrews to whoever, right? If any of those people were to complain, and be public about it. Yeah. I mean, the other one, which is such an innocuous thing, but happened, was when sponsors got mad at the Moolah Battle Royal. And they dumped the Moolah Battle Royal name and never brought it back. And it's weird, of all the things that have happened, you know what I mean? It's like...
That is bizarre. That was one that really set people off.
It didn't really set that many people off, but it set the right people off who somehow got it done. But I mean, it's like... You know how many sponsors, threatened to leave UFC over Dana White's video slapping his wife? Zero. If they did, what would happen? They'd have to slap him on the wrist at that point. They'd never get rid of him. Unless every sponsor forced them to, and then they would have to. But the reality is that, like, you just don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, the Vince thing was so bad. I mean, if it wasn't Slim Jim's, it was going to be somebody else. I mean, you couldn't read that lawsuit and keep him. It was impossible. But if the thing settled, I mean, the thing is, there's the big question, and I don't have the answer, is what happened on the legal front 4 weeks ago? Like, again, did they get the idea that maybe it's going to settle? And once it does, look, they were always going to bring Brock back once it's settled. I don't think that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think the question would be: you can think it's going to be settled all you want, but like, shouldn't you make a move after it's settled as opposed to before?
Well, evidently they're confident about something. Maybe it's just not even a settlement.
I mean, clearly they have to be confident about something because they did keep him out for a year and a half, 2 years, and then they did decide it was okay.
It's a year and a half, not two.
Well, his last match was Summerslam, so they may have wanted him there at the Royal Rumble, but he wasn't there. He's been gone. He's been off TV for 2 years.
He's been off TV for 2 years, but none of it wasn't disciplinary until the Royal Rumble, until the lawsuit was filed, which is January of 2024. So, I mean, before that, he was just taking time off. That was, and to come back Mania season. So, it's a complete, all that stuff there was just normal Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, it's like, do they think it's going to arbitration? If it goes to arbitration, all that stuff is in the suit. I think we kind of know what happened. The texts are there, but the reality is that he was not being kept off for anything that he did. He was being kept off because he was in a suit that was pending. It was not a moral decision to keep him off. It was a legal decision by the lawyers. Would WWE, Levesque, Nick Khan, would they have used him if legal said yes? Well, guess what? Legal said yes, so we know our answer. Yes, they would use him. They would have used him. Would they have used him a year ago? I don't know. I would think that they probably would have used him 6 months ago, but it didn't happen. But again, it's like, I don't know where we're going to get the answer. But as far as like why, I mean, that's why it happened. It was always going to be that situation. I mean, I've been told many, many times, like when Levesque, that one time, went on the press conference and goes, he's not here. Well, it's like, we talked to him about coming back for the Rumble, but, it's like it's Brock, we just didn't come to terms. So it's like, you fucking scripted the frickin' when he comes out, who he eliminates. You scripted the match with Dominic for one pay-per-view. You scripted the match for Gunther for the next pay-per-view. That his whole program was laid out, and they had to frickin' bring Braun Breaker up, and it was so late they couldn't even rescript the Rumble. Braun Breaker just took every one of his spots, and every elimination that he did, Braun Breaker got, and he was eliminated by Dominic because that was who was going to eliminate Brock to set up the Brock and Dominic match. So it's like, this was a last-minute thing. And it was, that was the reason. And then later he said that, he can come back, but it's Brock. He's not, whatever. It's like, that was bullshit. It was like I was told over and over and over again. It's like, he will be back when legal clears him, and not a day before. And in fact, he came back 4 weeks after legal cleared him. And I'm sure that the minute they did that, they started preparing exactly what we saw tonight. So that was the situation. That is the situation. If sponsors pull out, something can happen. If they don't, nothing will happen. It won't change. The fans clearly are not going to boo him out of the building in the wrong way. Although
we hold on. I don't think they're going to boo him out of the building, but
it has to be the right way. It has to be the right way.
Hold on. This was a WrestleMania style show.
Yeah.
Cody got booed, exactly like he got booed at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
When WrestleMania was over, everybody was sure people were turning on Cody, and in fact, he never got booed again.
Well, but they also they kept him off TV.
I know, but he still never got booed. And then he got booed again here tonight.
They kept him off TV, so when he came back, there'd be that big pop.
I realize that.
They did not.
He still hasn't been booed. That's my point. Okay.
He was booed. He was booed tonight.
He was booed tonight, and he was booed at WrestleMania. These are WrestleMania type crowds. They're always going to react differently. I'm not saying Brock isn't going to get cheered everywhere. He might. But it's possible that there could be people that turn on him at these shows.
Oh, it's very possible. It's very possible. That's the reason Tessa Blanchard's not there. Because, the test is those people are still chanting she's a racist at her. So, if something like that were to happen, well, of course they would turn the sound off. But, that would be something. But, and I suppose it's possible. I don't expect it with this fan base. I think they're just thrilled to see him back. And there's people who, are morally appalled by it. And,
listen.
And you know what? If you are, more power to you.
It depends on how many people are appalled, because they aired that footage of Triple H and Trump. And, last night in the building, they booed like crazy when that was on the screen.
Yeah.
So,
and guess what? They aired it again tonight. They just turned
tonight, yeah.
They aired it again and turned the sound down. Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. It's like for years. Dating back to just like 2016. Like the directive always was that, okay, even though he's president the first term, it's like he's a polarizing figure, and we try to.
They never talked about him.
No,
he was in their Hall of Fame. Never mentioned it.
They never
mentioned him.
No. And Linda was in his cabinet the first term, the first thing, and worked. He has history with them with the WrestleManias. They never brought it up because it was a directive, and the directive was from Vince. And the directive was, we do not want to alienate a large percentage of our fan base by acting like we were going to embrace this guy. Now, of course, what happened that changed all that is that UFC had no such compunction, and UFC embraced him like he was the founding father of UFC, and he would come to those shows, and he got fantastic reactions. So it was kind of like, well, it's like, I guess it's not so bad. And, he invited Levesque to be in the thing, and it's like, this is one of our executives, and he's right there with the president. And I think it goes back to, if it was any other time in the history of wrestling, and you were associated with a president, Paul Bosch with George Bush, it ain't like you're going to go, hey, there's a lot of people who booed George Bush. It's like you just you played that thing up for all that it was worth. Now, Jim Barnett never really did with Carter, but the difference there was that Jim Barnett, like Paul Bosch was the promoter He was the guy in the city. He was the television announcer. He was essentially the face of, like Dana. He's essentially the face of Houston wrestling. And, he was friends with the president, formerly the vice president, later the president. And they played it up as big as they could because it was like, it made him more credible, made Wahoo McDaniel more credible because the guy coached him when Wahoo was a kid. But like with Carter, like Jim Barnett was never on television. He never appeared on television. The name was never used. The promoter was always said to be Paul Jones, not the wrestler Paul Jones, but old wrestler Paul Jones. They never said Jim Barnett. Jim Barnett lurked in the shadows. So when Jim Barnett was put on the Council for Arts, it was like it was in the papers, but they never talked about that on television. But if it had been Dusty Rhodes, it had been all over television, constantly, never ending. And I think that's what happened here. It's just like it's our guy. And look at the doc. It's like this is the strategy. Vince is gone, and this is our good guy, and he rebuilt our company, and our company's doing record business, and it's a big thing, for him. And and again, he kind of stumbled a couple days ago when he was asked about Vince. He stumbled real bad. So I think that, his media training when it comes to that, it's like, it ain't the best, it ain't the best. But, and that's probably another reason. I haven't
seen much worse.
I've seen pretty bad stuff, but yeah. Certainly when you compare his responses under pressure to Cody's, Cody's the one who, is generally good. Although, Cody got a lot of heat this week too. So, that's a completely different thing. But yeah, I think that the whole deal is that TKO, the big company, they've embraced Trump long before WWE did. So it's like they're already embracing him, and I think that's just the whole situation. But yeah, people booed that one in the building, and they turned the sound off and all that, so you didn't hear it. But I don't know what they did. Did you hear what they did tonight? I didn't hear from anyone about that.
No, I think it was the same as last night.
I didn't ask anyone about that aspect of it. But yeah, we'll see how this thing develops.
We'll know a lot more tomorrow night.
We'll know a lot more tomorrow night. Well, I don't know if he's going to be on the show or not, but I wouldn't be surprised. Well, he might also just be on SmackDown. Well, it depends on which show Cena's on, right?
I would presume so.
Yeah. Well, the A show on a worldwide basis is Raw, even though more people watch SmackDown in the United States. The A show is Raw. So most likely, if you're going to do Cena and Brock, it's probably going to be on Raw. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. I guess we'll see it. Tomorrow, I'm sure there'll be 75 million views for Brock Lesnar's return, and they'll show all these podcasters. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen, so we'll see how the whole thing goes down. It is an ongoing story. But I think the key thing, and again, I don't know, and I'm sure we will never know, because I'm sure that the whatever it is going on in the legal situation that caused the situation to change is something that will probably be kept very confidential, like for real, not like the Seth Rollins turn. This one's going to be like a for real confidential. So, that's basically what the situation was, and they felt, one of the things is like it's like they don't need him. The company's doing great. So, the idea, is it worth the risk? And the reality is that they must have sat there and gone, in their minds, there is no risk. Because it's not worth a risk to do this. It's not that big of a deal. It's like, will he get a whole bunch of YouTube views for this? Yeah, of course he will. Will it draw more people to a pay-per-view? Probably, but financially that doesn't make a dime's worth of difference, because all the money's guaranteed whether he's there or he's not. It's like, it's not like they're selling. It's like it's Netflix internationally, it's Peacock. They're paying the same. With Brock's there or not there, they're paying the exact same. So, I mean, they are paying Brock. I mean, they never cut. Here's there's the thing. They never fired Brock. He was always under contract. He was always getting paid. He was never suspended. They just didn't use him for legal reasons. So they may just be sitting there going like, we're paying this guy so much money. At least let's use him, if we can. So, we got to justify. That's a lot of freaking money. You know what I mean? I mean, that's, he's probably, with the exception of, Roman's the highest paid. Aside from and Dwayne, of course, is ridiculous, and more power to him for getting it. I don't begrudge anybody for making money. But aside from that, I would presume, he's well ahead of like Randy Orton, whoever, or Rollins, the other guys you'd think would be up at that level. So Punk, I'm sure he's above Punk. Cody, maybe not Cody. I mean, it'd be a crime if he was above Cody, because Cody's really drawn a lot, and he's really been a workhorse. He's really been the face of the company. I'm sure he's not above Cena. There's no way. But but he's going to be above everyone else. So, that's all the different aspects of it. And story will keep going.
All right. Well, what did you think of the rest of SummerSlam aside from the Lesnar return?
I thought that the main event was great. It's funny. I watched the main event. I thought it was great. And I think it's the best match I've watched all day. However, I watched Legacy win today. And it was like, Zack Sabre and Takeshita match, Shota Umino and Shingo Takagi match. It's like I watched it like literally right after I watched the match, and the first thing like was hit me is kind of like, God, these guys are so much better wrestlers than the guys I just watched. Like so much better. But I don't think they ever like those matches were the matches are were great. But it's still, again, it's 2,500 people and it's Japanese atmosphere, which, can be good or bad or whatever. It was better in a way of if you're judging it as a wrestling match, but, because of the situation and everything like that, I thought, like, in many ways, I thought that the Cena and Cody match was better than any of the G1 matches, but not better wrestled. You know what I mean? It was just the atmosphere.
It was a better match. John Cena's an old guy. He can barely do anything, but...
Well, he did a lot tonight.
Well, it's the old... I was thinking about that old saying, it's... what is it? I'm not as good as I once was, but once I can be as good as I ever was. And God damn it, he did that tonight.
Yeah, I think the whole deal is...
He pulled it all out.
Well, he worked his ass off. I'm sure he's going to really be feeling it tomorrow.
Yeah, but you know what? It was his last ever championship match in front of this many people.
Yeah, it's a long
I mean,
match.
if he works Survivor Series, there's going to be a ton of people there, but it ain't going to be a title match. This was his last big championship match.
He's going to work with Brock, and they're sure as hell aren't doing a 30-minute match.
Well, no,
sure.
but this was his chance to go out there one more time and have a world title match in front of 50,000 people. And they put together a very smart match. And for one night, it was like he's just going to do it all. And yeah. Cody was great, and they kicked out of all the big moves. And
I mean, that's what the whole match basically was, which is WWE. You know, that's what they do in a big match, is you just keep kicking out of your finish over and over and over again until you don't. And usually with a real spectacular thing or devastating thing, and this time it's for real after you've done it over and over and over again. Even the attitude adjustment off the middle rope. I thought Cody did a great job. I thought Cena did a great job. That was an excellent match. One of the best matches WWE's had on the main roster in a long, long time. Better than the ladder match, which was a TLC match, which I thought was fantastic. And then, I mean, like, everything else, like, the Lynch match, like, you could tell the crowd wasn't into it at all, but I thought what they did was fine. It felt really overbooked and went way too long for sure. The women's match, the three-way, was not nearly as good as I expected, but still very good. And then the solo match was exactly what I expected.
Worst match on the show.
Oh, yeah. Definitely the worst match on the show. Dominic and AJ was there. It was okay. It was all right. I mean, nothing wrong with it. Nothing special about it. So, I mean, overall, if you view the show without the Lesnar thing, I think it's a super strong thumbs up show. I mean, excellent show. I know there's a lot of thumbs down, and I would bet every single one of them, or 80% of them, are because of Lesnar. And I can't argue that with anybody, because that's your feelings. And, and many, many, many very negative comments I got from women. And I certainly respect that, and it certainly, I don't say it opened my eyes, but it emphasized what I was already thinking in many ways, and drove home that you kind of can't pretend that this is this wonderful show, because most of it was, because the reality is that the biggest thing on the show was that decision, and in any way, shape, or form, it was a scummy decision. I mean, like, even if you want to say whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, I think that's the thing when all said and done. I mean, TKO, you see it with UFC, and you see it, you see it with WWE. At its core, it is not a company with any morality going forward, because, again, it's like, it's one thing where you go, well, we'll overlook it with Brock Lesnar and we'll overlook it with John Jones, but it's like, Enrique Dumas is like a nobody, and the fact that they would overlook it for him, it's just, unless the sponsors come after you, it's anything goes, and they don't care. There was a time years ago where all of this, because women being used in bad ways was a hot button topic, and it got people outraged really bad a couple of years ago, where it wouldn't have flown, and they would have had to have made decisions. And at that point, things would have been decided differently. It is very clear that they believe that it is many years later, and that era is over, and now we're going back to what it has always been historically, because that is what it has always been historically in professional wrestling, and it's what it has always been historically in fighting. I mean, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather went to jail. It's like, and it's not like anyone stopped booking him, and it's not like anybody wouldn't do business with him. It is just the reality of celebrityhood, and now it's the reality of, you don't have to be, it's not even about celebrityhood anymore. Now it's just back to how it used to be. Anything goes, and we don't care.
The three-way women's match opened the show, Naomi, Rhea, and Io, and a very good match. I thought all of them looked great. Io's always awesome, and Rhea had a good night. Naomi actually beat everybody up for the first part of the match. And then we had all the big three-way spots and everything at the end. They had some callbacks to some previous matches. And finally, Rhea went for the top rope riptide, but Naomi snuck in, rolled up Rhea, got the pin. So she didn't steal the pin, but she came in from behind and rolled her up and pinned her.
I was surprised that they pinned Rhea and not Io, but I kind of once they did that. I mean, I think that probably the idea is to keep Rhea on the chase for longer. I think that they can go now with Naomi and Io, since she was the one who wasn't pinned, and save Rhea for a bigger show and a bigger payoff when she finally wins, because she is still the one that they see as the biggest star. But yeah, I mean, it was real good. It was real good, but if you compare it to the last two big matches that Io and Rhea Ripley were in, I don't think it even came close. When it was over, it was kind of like, yeah, didn't come close, and it was. But it was very good. And I think, I guess, the key thing is that Naomi is not Bianca. That's the answer. I think that was part of it. And also, for whatever reason, when they laid the match out, they decided to give all that time to Becky Lynch and Lyra for God knows what reason, and take it away from this one, which, if they'd had 5 more minutes, I think it would have been a better match.
We got TLC with the Wyatts, DIY, Phoenix and Andrade, Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, and about 50 other people, as Candice and B-Fab and the rest of the Wyatt Six.
Nikki Cross,
we had like 15
Rowan,
people involved in this match. And
Uncle Howdy, it was more than 15. Let's see, Candice LeRae, B-Fab, Nikki Cross, 3, Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan. We had 17 people.
Okay, 17 people. So anyway, they had all sorts of crazy spots in this match. There was a spot where there were tables stacked up on each side of the ring, and somebody did a dive, putting someone through a table, 1, 2, 3, 4, right after another. This was right after Montez had done a running flip dive over the post onto the pile. It finished with Axiom giving Dawkins a Spanish fly off the post through a table. That's when everybody got involved.
To the floor, not in the ring.
Yep. That's when everybody got involved. And then we had... Candice is trying to climb to get the belts, and then B-Fab is trying to climb, and the only problem was the announcers had no idea. They were like, can she win if she gets the belts?
Or she can hand it to somebody.
Not a participant.
I mean, isn't that been already established?
I guess, but they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And so then
that freaking spot with Ciampa, oh my God, that was awesome.
Candice got the ladder tipped over. She went through a ladder bridge. It looked like she killed herself. And then
broke the ladder.
Ciampa's hanging from the thing that the belts hang from. The ladder gets pulled away, so he's just hanging there. And then Frazier goes up onto another ladder, and he's going to do the Edge Jeff Hardy spot. And the Hardys and the Dudleys and a bunch of